So I used to say that I was an all or nothing type of person with my beauty routine. It was either full glam or I would skip it completely. And I definitely still do both. Like there are days where I won't do anything other than applying like sunscreen. And then there are days, of course, where I love to sit down and do my makeup for an hour and go all out. To be honest with you though, I feel like most days I kind of fall somewhere in the middle and I don't always have the time or want to take the time out of my day to sit down and do like a full intense look. And I think it's also that I'm just a little bit more confident in my skin. I feel like the older I get, the less I feel the need to like wear a super full coverage foundation every single day. So part of it's practicality, part of it is just my makeup preferences have changed, and I've definitely embraced like a quick routine for a lot of the week. So in today's video, I wanted to share some of my favorite products right now when I'm in a hurry and I want my skin to look good, just maybe like a little bit boosted, or when I still want to add like a touch of glam, but I don't have a lot of time. These are some of the products that I'll reach for. I do want to say thank you to Typology for sponsoring today's video. I'm going to be using some of their products and sharing a couple of my favorites. I've actually been using their products since August. They sent me some to try out to see if I enjoyed them, and I really fell in love with the brand as a whole. They're a French skincare brand, and their products are cruelty-free and vegan. But what I love is they use really high quality ingredients and they have really beautiful formulas. I know I've talked about their lip oils on my channel in the past, but today I also wanted to use some of their complexion products. I love their tinted care line. They are basically hybrid products. So they mix together skincare ingredients with color. So you get the long-term benefits of skincare with like that added boost. So if you want to add glow, if you want to even out your skin tone, add like a really nice hydrating lip oil, they have really gorgeous formulas that are also beneficial long term. Okay, I'm going to start with the complexion. I will of course link Typology's website right at the top of the description box below, along with all of the products I'm using in today's video. If you do place an order of $40 or more, you will actually receive a free bi-phase eye makeup remover along with your order. So let's kick it off with this product. This is something that I cannot get enough of, and I like it because you can use it in a couple of different ways. These are the Glow Drops. They're made with 5% vitamin C and aloe vera. So there are a couple of ways that I like to use these. I will either mix them in with my morning moisturizer, or I'll mix them in with the tinted serum that I'm going to use next, or I will just use them alone underneath foundation or whatever type of complexion product I'm wearing. And I'll also use them as like a liquid highlighter. So these have a ton of great options, a ton of great ways to use them. I'm just going to start with about 2 drops and I'm just going to blend it all over my face. So I don't have anything on right now except for moisturizer, and you'll see the glow this product gives. I've really embraced the glowy skin. I feel like as someone who has oily skin, I did stay away from glowy products for a long time, but there's just something so flattering about glowy skin. And I almost feel like as I get a little bit older, like my skin, it can sometimes look dull when I wake up in the morning. And I feel like a little added glow never hurts. I'm just adding a little bit more. So as you can see, it just kind of wakes up the complexion. And I like these because they're not glittery and they're not like metallic. They just really give your skin that natural illuminated glow that I feel like a lot of us do enjoy. So this is probably the first year that I've actually really enjoyed a light to medium coverage option for day to day. That was definitely not the case for a long time. If you've been around my channel, you probably know that. But I feel like my makeup preferences have changed. And honestly, like I said earlier, I feel like maybe I'm just a little bit more confident in my skin. And I used to just like cover everything up: redness, freckles, acne scarring. And there are definitely days where I'll still do that, but I feel like, I don't know, something a little bit lighter, more natural that helps me embrace my natural skin while just like adding a tint of coverage or like evening things out is perfect. And also I find that lighter coverage options do look better throughout the day. Like sometimes more of a full coverage option just looks heavy and cakey after a few hours, and I'm just not the biggest fan of that. I don't love the way it feels by the end of the day. So anyway, I love this tinted serum from Typology. I have the shade number 1, which is Fair. But again, this has great ingredients: aloe vera, vitamin C as well. It also has squalane, so it's very, very hydrating. I like to just take my fingers and apply this product. I'll basically just like gently spread it onto the skin, And if I'm in a really big hurry, I will just apply it with my fingers all over and I'm good to go. If I have a little more time, I'll kind of spread it out and then blend it in with a brush just to get a little bit more of an even finish. I'm a brush fan, but there are definitely those days where you don't have time to find the brush or use the brush and you just throw it on with your fingers. And what's nice is this serum actually applies really beautifully with your fingers too. Because I do have oily skin, I think my issue with a lot of lighter coverage products or tinted serums in the past has been that they wouldn't last on my skin. My skin is not quite as oily as it used to be. I definitely have more combo skin these days, but what I love about this product is once it dries down, it looks so skin-like. Like it's not overly glowy. While it feels hydrating on the skin, it doesn't slip around on my skin. It doesn't slide off after a few hours. It basically just melts into the skin. It looks really natural and soft and pretty, and it truly has like an undetectable finish. Okay, here's what the tinted serum looks like. I think it looks really good on the skin. Very, very natural. It's definitely not a buildable formula because it truly is a tinted serum. You're not going to layer it up and get like full intense coverage, but it just works to lightly even out the skin tone, add a little bit of glow. I feel like it just makes my skin look more awake. Typology also makes a really nice concealer. This is their serum concealer. So I do have two shades, so I'll swatch them for you, but I wear the shade Fair. So if we have a similar skin tone, I do recommend the lighter one, especially if you do want to add like that brightening aspect to it. Now this is different than the tinted serum because it is more of like a medium to full coverage product. Just like their other products, this has really good ingredients too, including caffeine and niacinamide, which are just going to work to reduce puffiness and also help diminish dark under eye circles. I don't deal with dark under eye circles as much as redness, but I feel like a good brightening concealer always helps just to kind of make me look a little bit more awake. So what I typically do is put it on the back of my hand, and then I'll just take it with my finger to kind of warm it up a little bit because it is a slightly thicker texture, and then I'll just dab it wherever I want to apply it and then blend it in with a brush. Again, you can use your fingers, and when I'm in a hurry, sometimes I will, but I feel like a brush just tends to give me a little bit more of an even finish. And this is where I usually apply concealer, like the center of my face and then under my eyes. Then I'm just going to take a brush and blend it out and make sure everything looks really even. So again, if you deal with acne or breakouts, like I kind of have a breakout right here, a little bit of concealer right there is nice because it will just work to kind of diminish that redness too. I am going to set this concealer into place with a little bit of powder, but first I'm going to go in with cream bronzer. You guys know my favorite cream bronzer is the Makeup Revolution Ultra Cream Bronzer. Even on days where I do go for more of a light coverage, natural look, I always like a bronzer. I feel like it just warms up the complexion really nicely, and I think in general, it just makes you look a little bit more awake. And this formula is perfect because it is so creamy. It just blends into the skin like a dream. So I'm just going to apply this, and then I'll probably go over the edges with the brush I used for the serum just to make sure everything's really blended, because sometimes I go overboard and that's fine. I feel like that's how I get it to look a little more natural. I'm not too precise with it, and I just like to kind of melt it together in the end when I'm done. I really was opposed to cream products for such a long time, and honestly, you just have to find the formulas that work well for you. At this point, there are so many different cream options. So again, I'm just going to go over the edges with the brush I used for my tinted serum. There's nothing extra on here. I just want to kind of make sure the edges aren't too harsh. I am going to apply a little bit to the sides of my nose. Nothing too precise, just like a very subtle application so the center of my face isn't a completely different color. I am going to use a little bit of powder just to set the concealer into place, and then maybe like the center of my face as well, where I do tend to get a little bit oily. So this one is from Typology as well. This is their loose powder. So this one is talc free. It's also made with zinc, which is really nice if you have oily skin, because that is going to mattify the skin. So usually I will take powder right in the very center of my face, and then usually my chin, and then under the eyes for concealer too, and then around the nose. I tend to leave like the outer portion of my face alone for the most part. Sometimes I'll do like a very light dusting of powder at the very end. One thing that I really don't skip very often would be my brows. So I am going to use the NYX Thick It Stick It Brow Gel and just use this to add some color and definition and a little bit of hold. I feel like brows in general make a big difference, but for me, I think this brow gel makes the biggest difference out of other products because it's basically like a 3-in-1. So it locks them into place, it fills them in, and it also adds like a little bit of texture because it does have fibers in it. So I really don't skip this step very often, even if I'm in a hurry, because honestly, it doesn't take very long just to apply the brow gel and just comb them up. And if I do have like an extra minute or two, I will take my brow pen and define them a little bit more. But the brow gel on its own does make such a difference. So for the eyes, I'm just using this bronzer from Flower Beauty, and I just took a very small amount and I'm blending it into the crease just to add like a touch of warmth. I really try not to spend too much time on eyeshadow if I'm in a hurry, but I do still like to add something just to define the eyes a little bit. And this bronzer is nice because it's not overly warm, but it just adds like a touch of color to the eyes. I'm just taking a little bit of shadow on my lower lash line too, just to tie things together. For the lid, sometimes I'll take highlighter if I'm wearing a powder highlighter, but more often than not, I'll just take a Super Shock shadow from ColourPop. This one is in the shade Sunrise Hike, and I just add like a quick swipe of it all over the lid. I like this one because it is sparkly, like it definitely has a glow to it, but it's not so intense that it looks like you're wearing a full-on metallic, especially if you just use a light layer and you don't apply too much. But I just think it really opens up the eyes, it ties the look together. So even when I'm in a hurry, I do typically just apply a really pretty light gold or shimmery shadow all over the lid. Now that the brows have dried, I'm just going to take my NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen and I'm just going to lightly fill them in. Any sparse areas just to add a little more definition. Okay, let's finish up the eyes with some mascara. This is the Serum mascara from Typology. So this is actually formulated with pea peptides, castor oil, and plant fibers. So it is a very conditioning formula. It's supposed to be really fortifying for your lashes. So if you have very weak or brittle lashes, you might really enjoy this formula. On top of that, I do think it is a good lengthening option because it does have plant fibers in it. So you'll actually see them as you apply it, and it makes your lashes look a little bit longer. I have very short lashes. Now this is more of a natural formula. You're not going to get super thick, voluminous over the top lashes. It's just going to lightly define them and add a little bit of length. My memory card just filled up while I was in the middle of filming this, but basically what I was saying is I like to focus this formula kind of on like the outer portion of my lashes, just to give like a very fluttery look. And because it does have those fibers in it, like you'll actually see the fibers grab onto your lashes and just lengthen them. So it's really pretty, very soft and natural. I did skip eyeliner. I've actually been skipping eyeliner quite a bit. I do love a good winged liner look, but I also appreciate just makeup without eyeliner too. Okay, I'm just adding a tiny touch of powder bronzer before I go in with blush and my lip product. I obviously love a lot of products from Typology, but the tinted lip oils have such a special place in my heart. This formula is so gorgeous. It's incredibly nourishing. It has really good ingredients that are very hydrating, like squalane, jojoba oil, vitamin E. What I love about this formula is it's very conditioning. So not only does it look good on the lips, but once it wears off, my lips feel very smooth, super moisturized throughout the day. I'm wearing the plum one today. I think this one is my favorite, especially for this time of the year. It just adds a very beautiful hint of color without being too over the top. I love the soft glossy finish. It's not sticky at all. It definitely has more of like an oily, plush texture. You can tell that it's conditioning. Now, obviously these are great as lip oil, but you can actually use them as blush too. So these make a gorgeous, very natural, smooth, glowy blush. And I like this because it obviously coordinates well with your lip color, but when you're in a hurry, you can just tap this in and you get the most beautiful, perfect flush of color. And it has like this really pretty, smooth glow to it. It looks really healthy on the skin, so it almost kind of doubles as like a blush highlighter all in one. Like you can see the difference between my cheeks. This just has that added glow to it. Not only does it feel nice on the skin. It gives you like that healthy dewy glow. So here's how everything came together in the end. I really like the way my complexion looks. It's definitely different than how I used to do my makeup routine. I used to go for like full coverage, super matte all the time. And there are definitely days where I go for that still, but I've just come to appreciate more of like a natural look, like something that actually looks like skin. I like the fact that there is a glow, that it looks healthy. And when you see me in person, it doesn't look heavy or textured. It really just looks like my skin. It's not, you know, super perfected. There isn't like a full coverage finish. You can definitely still see freckles, or if I have a breakout, you might see that. But I just think it looks like skin, and it's nice to have a routine where I can achieve that. Obviously, I still go barefaced and I'll go full glam, but it's nice to have something in the middle too. So thanks again to Typology for sponsoring today's video. So let me know if you plan on trying out any of their products. And again, if you use my link in the description box below and spend $40, you'll get that free bi-phase eye makeup remover as well. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you very soon with a new one. Bye.